Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2,867. Along with Steve the Throw Hill, the Ted Smith, Woman Fox, and Mike Hawk. Thank you. Out in the men's room. On tap today, here come the bad jokes, bitches. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, the men's room shot of the day, fun listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV time with Ted. Click, clack. Drink and draw. All right, here we go to Western New York for a 911 call about an alligator nearby. Meanwhile, Florida man goes to Target and drops his pants, using God as an alibi. Up the road, we go to Jacksonville, where Burger King customer truly has it her way. In Texas, 2 fires blamed on exploding tortilla chips on a hot Austin day. An Ohio man phones in a bomb threat so he won't miss his flight. And it's all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, I think we can all agree that words are important. They're the building blocks of language, which is, of course, how we choose to communicate specific ideas. And generally speaking, adults are better at using words than children. Like if someone asks an adult a yes or no question, we don't have to explain it, even though we said no, what we meant to say was yes, on and on it goes. But listen, that's the stuff of children. But children are generally funnier when they misspeak. And we have a list of words and phrases that children have uttered over the years that have stumped parents. For example, if your child walked up to you and brought up a Halloween eagle, what do you think they're talking about? That would be a crow. How about a battle unicorn? This is another animal. If your kid wants to know about a battle unicorn, they're talking about a rhinoceros. And if your child tells you that they are, as one parent wrote, singing in their pants, yes, indeed, they farted. We have a whole list of other somewhat questionable things that kids have come up with, but a lot of the times, the words you choose to say, it's just a matter of how you grew up, right? In your home, was there a pacifier or was there a binky? Is your grandmother your grandma, your granny, your meemaw, your oma, your nana, right? What do you call a fried egg placed in the hole in bread? Don't bother to answer. We have a list that has 66 variations of it. It's just how you talk, and sometimes when you get out in public or you meet someone, turns out what you learn to say is not necessarily what other people know. Toss a salad, Miles. And that leads us to us to today's question, which is when did you or someone else say, I've never heard it called that before?
Be part of the big show. Call 844-999-OLA. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Overcharge, and away we go. Welcome to show number 2,867. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. As the bad jokes are on the way, the drunk in charge, Ryan Castle, will be in to kick off the bad jokes right before we drink and toast with the shot of the day. Another exciting Ted versus the FCC. Steve and I were up till 3:30 last night coming up with incredible rhymes and riddles to stump Ted in Ted versus the FCC. Lo and behold, we get in here, and there is yet again another listener email with a Ted versus the FCC suggestion. And as our mantra is, listeners come first. We're going to use that once again, coming up with Ted versus the FCC. Of course, Profile This is also on the way. And today we're going to talk about things that certain people call things. Depends on sometimes where you grew up, whatever word it could be. My grandmother still refers to her toilet as a commode.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that word is still around, but it
is, man. But people just don't. Where are you from that you use the word commode? I'd get it if you're from England.
I think it might be just an age thing, and it could be, and that's another thing. It might be based on your age. It might be. There's all kinds of factors that basically figure into what language you use.
Sure.
Spigot is another example where most people would call that a faucet.
Sounds less racist.
Yeah, that word just sounds terrible.
Spigot sounds like spigot is an outdoor. Oh, I'm glad that sounds terrible.
I know, but I wouldn't say it.
It's just a spigot, man.
I know. But I'm not.
It just sounds horrible.
It sounds bad.
It's a spigot, but we're not insulting anybody.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys say it.
There's a spigot attached to my house.
Right. Knock it off.
I'm going to go use the hose from the faucet.
Yeah.
My hose is connected to my spigot.
To the spigot.
You have to make it dirty.
Well, this all starts with a woman named Tessa Dare, and she's an author, and she lives in California. She started the heartwarming Twitter thread when she revealed that a friend's 5-year-old daughter had referred to a crow, as you said, Steve, as a Halloween eagle because she did not know its name. And so then hundreds of followers.
And the problem is kids think you know everything at that age,
Sure.
man. So, you don't even know what a Halloween eagle is to explain it to them.
That wouldn't make sense for the kid, though.
Look, when typically when you backtrack on a kid's points of origin, like where the logic began, you're like, okay, I get how you connected these dots, man. But until you do, it takes a while to figure out what the hell they're talking about.
Well, once she started this, the Halloween eagle, you can imagine, hundreds of her followers from around the world responded with their own examples of made-up words, including hand socks for gloves, an uppy room for an elevator. Mike, that's kind of what you were thinking about earlier, wasn't it? Uppy room. Or you wanted the downy room,
Yeah, the downy room.
You preferred the downy room from what I remember. And a puppy hurt store.
Wait. What's a puppy hurt store?
A puppy hurt store.
Like a pet shop.
No, puppy hurt.
Veterinarian.
Veterinarian, yeah. That's what I was
Dude,
thinking.
I speak child.
I speak child, damn it.
Okay.
I'm an interpreter.
Yeah.
Did you remember what Steve called the battle unicorn?
Yeah, the rhinoceros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A friend's 5-year-old called a rhinoceros a battle unicorn.
I love that. The
Wait a
battle
minute.
unicorn. What?
Rhino, right?
Yeah.
Rhino's good. Yeah, rhino. How about uppy rooms or elevators? Hand socks or gloves? Kindergartner told me she liked my hand socks, but now they are forever hand socks in my mind, from Jenny. My niece used to say that she was singing in her pants.
Does that mean peeing?
No, that's whenever she passed gas. She was singing in her pants.
I like
All right.
that. It sounds so kind.
It does. It sounds so much better.
Oh, excuse me.
than
I didn't
fog.
hear you. I was distracted. I was singing in my pants.
How about this one? He called, when our son was little, he could not pronounce this word, so he called it Archie. What place would he call Archie?
He called a place Archie?
Yes. It was known as
Ted.
Archie.
It's a place. You can find this place no matter where this kid goes in America.
Oh, McDonald's.
Right.
Bam!
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah, because Ronald McDonald's got red hair.
Shannon said her son.
Or the Golden Arches.
Her son
Oh,
calls.
I thought it was
The
like Archie
what?
from Mad Magazine.
You do speak child.
These are smart kids.
Yeah, they are.
Because Ronald McDonald has red hair. I'm like, wait, what? What? What?
Yeah. Remember Archie? He had red
know.
hair.
The comics Archies?
Do you think
Yeah.
little kids look at...
Hey, either way, it's
All
not
right,
a
man.
matter of how we got there. It's that I'm speaking with the kids.
that
market.
is true.
Somehow that connects. All right, how about this one?
Skirt.
What are pasta pockets?
Pasta pockets. I don't know. Like shells?
Not really. Close. Ravioli.
Oh, yeah.
Ravioli pasta pockets. They're pasta parcels in my family.
Jesus.
All right, what about...
I had manicotti once with a family that was nobody in their family was Italian. They had never spent a lot of. They called the manicotti. What was it? Italian enchiladas.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like an Italian or like a Italian enchilada.
What are little white trees on your plate? Little white trees.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
Oh,
I call cauliflower little white trees. That's from Tarquin. Not tomorrow, but the next day going backwards, formerly known as the day before yesterday.
God. Wait, how do they say it?
Not tomorrow, but the next day going backwards, formerly known as
right.
the day before yesterday. My daughter referred to this place as Lidybird. It's Lidybird. Lidybird.
It's a place?
Lidybird, yes. Because she just couldn't pronounce it.
See, this is the problem with kids, man. Seriously. Like, they talk to you like this, and you're like, I do not understand what you were trying to tell me.
Is it a place we would go?
Do we know this place?
Yeah, I mean, sort of. It depends.
Lady, but they couldn't say
it's the library. My daughter wanted to be a librarian when she grew up. Librarian, I asked? No, librarian. Someone who goes to the library and reads books, not someone who works there. What are flamingo witches?
Flamingo witches. Hang on. So, like a pink witch.
Flamingo witches. Friend's 5-year-old watching National Geographic Channel and was looking at the flamingo witches.
I can't think of that one.
Vultures. Flamingo plus a witch, he says, equals a vulture.
See, again, you look at your kid as, I don't know what you're trying to say.
Let's see here. One says, our boys rename food. What is a taco sandwich? What's a taco sandwich?
A burrito?
That would be a torta.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is a taco sandwich.
Sure.
Right.
And calzones are pizza sandwiches.
Okay.
How about...
Should it be a pizza pocket?
Hey, let's not get technical, man.
I couldn't think of the word tortilla and asked for the taco flops. My son liked it so much he relabeled the bag, and so they shall ever be.
Taco flops.
Taco flops.
Dude, the one I use all the time that I don't think is a real thing is like, you have an armpit. I always say my knee pit. Like
yeah,
the back
I call
of
it
your
my knee pit.
Like a sweaty knee pit?
Yeah, like when you're in a car ride.
Sometimes I put deodorant back there.
On the knee?
No, on the back.
I mean, I get sweaty. I've never gone that far, but I like it.
I mean, a lot of people just say the back of their knees, but I've never been called out for saying knee pit.
It would be really funny if you had
I've
hair.
gotten a
If you had hair on the back of your knee, like you do under your arm. Just like this landing strip of hair, like on the back.
But not like under your arm,
No,
man.
but like under your knee, like the same.
No,
kind.
that's what I'm saying.
That'd be
Like,
great.
That's not the same.
You look all aerodynamic. When did you or someone else say, I've never heard it called that before? 844-999-OLA.
Oh, man.
Taco flops.
Hello, PJ. Welcome to the men's room.
Gentlemen.
Hola.
Hola. Years ago, I used to frequent a pizza parlor, and I knew all the people there. And the young lady was taking the order of the gentleman in front of me, and the gentleman wanted a pizza with Ankavoys. And she looked at him and said, what? And he said, Ankavoy, Ankavoy. And then he got kind of irate, and she looked at me, and I went, I think he means anchovy. And she went, oh. And he got pissed off. He's like, yeah, Ankavoy.
At you? He got mad at you?
He got mad at everybody. He was just in a bad mood.
All right, ankle boy. I like. It's hard to find a guy or anybody to share a pizza with that likes an ankle boy. Because I love them. I love pepperoni and ankle boy pizzas.
Ankle boy. I like that, man.
I'm a huge ankle boy fan.
What, Ted? Where were you? And I always remember, was it ciabatta bread or how?
No. It's a Subway. So keep in mind, this story is like 20 years ago, right?
Right.
So Subways weren't as ubiquitous as they are now. But a guy I knew opened one at the end of our alley in Baltimore. So they had different flavored breads. Large Baltimore-looking lady comes in, and she orders her sandwich, says, put it on the Chapalo bread.
Chapalo?
Like jalapeno.
Chapalo.
Or recently, what was the one? Recently, somebody kept saying, they were like
the Chapalo Theater.
Yeah.
Showtime at the Chapalo.
It's all Mexican acts.
But she was so confident, too. Put it on that Chapalo bread. Getting fancy today, aren't we? Uh-oh. What was the one a few months ago? Somebody told me they love poke bowls.
Poke bowls.
Oh.
And they said it like 2 or 3 times.
How can they love something they can't pronounce?
And finally, I just said, it's poke bowl.
Right, you don't want to be that guy.
In their defense, if you've never heard it's called poke, it does say poke.
What'd you do for lunch? I poked a bowl.
Poke.
When did you or someone else say, I've never heard it called that before? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Bjorn. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So growing
Jesus,
up,
God.
Sorry, turn it off.
Okay.
Growing up, we always, you refer to your grandparents. Well, in Norwegian, you refer to them as your mother's father or your mother's mother or your father's mother and your father's father.
Wait, run that by me one more time, dude. I'm sorry. You, honest to God, that
That was
twisted
too
my head
fast.
up.
So do it again slowly, Bjorn.
So there's no word for a grandmother or a grandfather.
Okay.
So it's mother's mother or mother's father.
I got you.
And father's father and father's mother. So with my 4-year-old trying to teach her now, it's really confusing because my nephew's over there as well, and that's my sister's kid. So he refers to my mother differently than my daughter refers to my mother.
What does he refer to her as?
So he refers to my mother as mama, which is mother's mother.
Okay.
And my daughter refers to as
Falmo, which is father's mother.
Famo. Huh.
If that's confusing. But, like, people come over, they hear us talking about it, and they're like, wait, what? Why is he saying different than she's saying? And then everyone gets all confused.
Okay.
You're right.
I'm confused right now.
Yeah. So there, that makes complete sense. But here, right, it's just one stock answer for grandkids. Mm-hmm. Your grandmother or grandfather. What did you call your grandmother? What did you call your grandmother when you were growing up?
So growing up, my mom was the Norwegian one, so all of them were Momo or Mofo.
Mofo.
Momo and Mofo. But do you say mother, or do you say mom, or Momo or mama, or what do you do?
Translated, it's mother's mother, but it comes out as Momo, which is mom.
Okay. Mom. Okay. All right. Well, that's not bad.
But what about?
It's not bad.
Did you have two grandmothers? Like, what did you call the other one if you did?
It would be the same thing.
Oh, really?
So you wouldn't call her Fama?
No, because it would be my mother's mother, but from the other side. So it's kind of confusing. But
what about your father's mother? Would you call him Mofo or whatever it was?
No, my dad grew up in Nebraska, so there's just grandma and grandpa.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I was curious. Grandma, grandpa. Right.
That's the Nebraska way. Mm-hmm. When did you or someone else say, I've never heard it called that before? 844-999-OLA.
I mean, my family always does that. Like, one side will be grandma, then the other side will be like Mimi or Nana.
Yeah, there's tons of that. Pops or grandma, granddad.
Pops. Yeah. Oh, man, I had an opportunity for a Meemaw, which would have driven my mother crazy, but I'd call her Meemaw. Yeah. They don't, but
you could have.
I just think
if you'd have trained it early enough.
Oh, man, I really missed out on that. Hello?
My mom's a Mimi.
Mimi?
Yeah, my mom's mom was a Mimi.
A Mimi.
My mom's mom was a Mimi.
My mom's a Nana now.
Oh, Nana.
Well,
Nana.
Nana.
Nana. Yeah, Nana.
Nana.
Well, I never call her that. She's just my mom.
She's just mom, right?
Right. That would be weird if I was like, hey, Nana.
I mean, most people I know, it's mom. You meet a couple people that call their mother, as an adult, we'll call them ma, right?
I'm telling you what the weirdest one is.
But mommy.
The man is that's the one. When an adult,
can't do it.
When an adult calls their mother mommy, I just
so gross.
I go, oh, my God.
Or come on, man.
Or daddy.
Right, well, either one.
You know, like, I'm just like, oh, and I understand there's a time and place for that. You don't have to explain that to me. I get that, but not in that way.
I don't
either.
I mean, what are we talking about? Somebody calling their own father, or like?
No, I'm saying just an adult person using the term daddy. Like I would never say, my daddy lives in Florida.
Right. It's just...
Oh, God.
Right. I mean,
could you imagine?
But there's a few people...
My daddy lives in PG County.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you know one guy that does it. I don't know this guy now, but when I was growing up, I certainly know this guy. And we're like 17 years old, and if his father walked into the room, I mean, like, we're teenagers doing things that teenagers do. You're on your way to adulthood, and it was still, oh, hey, daddy. And it's just, I love the guy to death, but it was always the weirdest thing that you can't move past.
I mean, if I'm 6 years old and I'm running with my arms out, that's fine.
I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I would just say my pops. My pop's in town.
Yeah, old man.
Yeah, exactly.
OF.
When did you or someone else say, I've never heard it called that before?
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So a couple months ago, I went to visit my pops in Spokane.
Your father.
And,
all right.
Yes, my father.
Well, sometimes pops is a grandfather.
Yeah, some people call that soda.
Yeah, a big bottle of Sprite.
Right.
Very entertaining. So I get there, and he starts asking me, what I want to do, and he starts giving me all these options. One thing he says is, do I want to go check out the birdarium?
The birdarium.
The birdarium.
Yeah, a birdarium. And I have no idea what the heck he's talking about until it finally clicked in my head that he meant the aviary. And he was convinced that it's called a birdarium, and he still calls it that to this day. Even though he looked it up in the dictionary, he said, nope, I'm sticking with birdarium.
A birdarium.
What was it?
An bird
watching.
Yeah,
area.
basically. Yeah, it's where
did you guys have tan vests?
Aviary. Jesus.
No, we didn't even go.
Oh, okay, I was going to say.
You didn't go to the birdarium?
You got to wear tan vests, man. You got to, and you got to have a really good pair of binoculars and a field book.
You know, man, I'm going to be honest with you.
That's the universal tell.
You're more likely to get me to go to a birdarium than an aviary. Because you say birdarium, I know, like, whoever owns it, it's like some guy named Ron. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting on his like, welcome to Ron's birdarium.
$2 to get in, 50 cents for kids.
By the way, as we're talking about what you call your grandparents, people are chiming in. All right, so a lot of grandma, grandpa would be one set, granddad, grandmom on the other side. Then someone points out that Mimi, which is a very popular
French,
grandmother
right?
name, well, it might be French, but in Tongan, if you say the word Mimi in Tongan, it means pea.
Oh, so Grandma P.
You would not, I guess in Tongan, you don't call grandma Mimi.
I'm going to go take a little Mimi.
Be right back.
I think it's a higher percentage of grandparents peeing.
Yeah, that's true. Mimi has to go Mimi.
If peeing your pants is cool, I'm Miles Davis.
Oh, God. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys.
Hola.
How are you doing today?
Doing great, man.
I had to call in, and maybe you can help me understand something finally today. So when I grew up in Chicago, you know that beanbag toss game? We played that all the time. We always just called it beanbags. You know, you want to toss beanbags. And when I first moved here about 5 years ago, everybody calling it cornhole.
Right.
Because it's called cornhole.
Well, wait.
You know what, man? I don't think that's Seattle.
listen.
I think that's Cincinnati. I think
It's-
that's Ohio, isn't it?
Listen, it has become known as cornhole. I think we all agree on that. But let's face it. For about 10 years leading, like everyone kind of discovered the game, right? Everyone started getting into it. And some people called it bean bag, bean toss, because nobody wanted to call it cornhole. And the first time I heard someone call it cornhole, I gave them the same look that I'm sure you gave.
I know, but
at this point, even though it's an uncomfortable term, I feel like we all just accept that, God damn it, it's called cornhole.
I think if you had a vote on bag toss or
I mean,
cornhole,
it's not much better.
I mean, like,
But the problem is, it's called cornhole.
I
right?
know.
And like my family, they were like, "Oh, we're playing bago." So it's just
Bago.
Bago, right.
They
That's
just
another
didn't
name
want to
I've
call
heard.
it cornhole.
oh, is that really why?
I'm like, get your minds out of the gutter.
But here's the problem, Ted, and you're right. I did first. It was Bago,
Isn't it
right?
Carson
But the
Palmer?
thing is,
Yeah, it's a cornhole from over here.
when they. That's how I was introduced to it, was as Bago. No one said, "Look, man, we call it Bago because it's called cornhole, and cornhole makes us giggle." They just called it Bago. So all I knew was Bago. So when someone finally said cornhole, I'm like, "Whoa, man! Like, what exactly do you want to do?"
I always knew
later.
I just know probably for the last 20 years I've heard it referred to as cornhole. As it seemingly
Absolutely.
has gained more popularity.
No, listen. I
Really?
agree.
You
I'm
know?
just saying. Look, Ted, you kind of made this point earlier. Someone told you that they like a poke bowl,
Yeah.
and it's a poke bowl. But there was a point when this became all the rage that everyone asked everyone, "Hey, man, do you know if it's pokey,
It was like pho.
Everybody.
It's like pho.
Right,
Or like
pho.
Euro.
All of it, all this stuff.
gyros.
So cornhole, I think we all accept it.
Cornholio.
But I think everyone remembers the first time someone said, "Hey, man, want to play cornhole?"
Oh, man, that's exit only. I don't do that.
Yeah, I ain't playing that game.
When did you or someone else say, I've never heard it called that before? 844-999-OLA. Hold the line, more of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitchola. You have entered the men's room.
Still to come, bad jokes on the way. You can email the bad jokes to the men's room at mensroomlive.com, and the return of Ted versus the FCC coming up as well. Our question today, when did you or someone else say, I've never heard it called that before? 844-999-OLA.
And we have a few comments that came in. If I told you that someone, the blood cops, what are the blood cops?
The blood cops. An ambulance?
An ambulance. Very
Okay.
well done.
All right.
Very well done. Let's see. An S ticket.
An S ticket. An
Like
S
the curse word or like the letter S?
The curse word. S ticket.
You got toilet paper on your shoe.
Toilet paper. It's toilet paper. Yesterday I got a buddy that calls toilet paper S tickets. And then as far as what you call your grandparents, I call my dad's parents Mama and Papa. People look at me funny every time I do. And then, Miles, I thought you'd appreciate this. Says, I was in the Army drinking with some buddies. I was approached by some of the Marine friends who were at the party, and they asked me if I wanted to play cornhole with them. I had no effing clue what they were talking about. We had a good laugh when I said what I thought they meant.
Oh, hey.
Which brings me back to...
Oh, yeah. I'll do that, too. Then I'll
Yeah.
throw the beanbag as well.
Oh, you want to play a game?
Yeah, okay. I'm in on that as well.
All right,
Hey.
let me zip up my pants
Let's
then.
do both.
Damn it. And it brings me, and I've told this story before, but it is Miles and I, when we first started working
Oh, this
together.
is great.
It's like 15 years. It was uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable. It's about 15
It
years
wasn't comfortable
ago.
for you. It wasn't uncomfortable for me.
And we're in the studio. I don't know if it's a commercial break or whatever, but we're kind of broke in those days. And Miles says, hey, man, after the show, do you want to get together and toss a salad? All right.
Yeah,
And I'm
totally.
being very cool. And I just said,
What are you doing later?
no.
Oh, really?
I do
Let's
not.
go toss a salad.
I was like, no. So I was like, well, come on, man. Just after the show.
What's wrong with you?
Like, we can go back to your place, my place. It doesn't matter. But let's just toss this.
When have you ever said no to that?
And I'm trying to be cool. And I'm like, listen, man, it's not something I want to do with you.
Why not?
I thought we were friends.
Seriously, what the hell's going on?
We're not that close, man. I don't understand. Like,
I only have a little.
I don't want to toss a salad with you, Miles.
Right.
My God, I'm trying to be cool. And then there's a pause. It's like, wait a minute, man. What do you mean when you say that? Miles goes, well, wait, what do you mean when you say
I'm like, I only got a little bit of weed, man. If you get a little bit of weed, we can put it all together and smoke it together, toss salad.
See,
because that was old marijuana lingo. Back in the day, like doing a binger.
Okay, well, it's been updated.
Yes, I know.
But people have heard binger before.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are people out there
but
who
you
know
said
that term.
You want to
but
toss
obviously,
we're both
that is not the popular terminology that I knew to be true of that.
Not toss the salad. Like everyone, it means something different to everybody else on earth. And I'm like, why is he so adamant about this? Why does he think our friendship? Like, what does this have to do with anything? I don't want to toss a salad with you, Miles.
When I found out what it meant, I was like, there's a reason I don't know that.
Yeah, then I'm like, oh, yeah, man. Yeah, I'll do that.
I just didn't know.
Yeah, I'll do what you're asking.
I did not know that.
I wish you had said that,
How about
a
that?
little more clearly.
How about that?
That was an uncomfortable moment.
Now I'm going to think of all these tossed salad places in a completely different way when I see them.
It ruins it. And I'm an adult, and I still
especially
giggle
when you get a fresh one.
If it's like, oh, fresh tossed salad.
When did you or someone else say, I've never heard it called that before? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Brian. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola.
So I love my wife dearly. Ever since she was very, very young.
You don't have to do all this.
Her father. She has different terminology for tools. We were working on a project, and she asked me for the screwdriver. I asked her which one. She said the plus. So instead of Phillips or flathead screwdriver,
it's plus and negative?
Plus or minus.
Oh.
Plus and minus, yes.
Plus or minus, okay.
It makes sense. It's just that nobody says that.
Right. It makes perfect sense.
Right.
It's
but
an easy way
says
to describe the tool.
All right. Plus and minus, all right.
But she's actually gotten people, my kids saying it, and people where she works. She works in an optical lab.
So what you're saying is
she's actually got other technicians asking for a plus or minus screwdriver.
Tiny kind.
She's like a virus of bad information.
She uses a screwdriver. You work in a glasses store. You use a screwdriver all the time.
Oh, those little teeny tiny ones?
Absolutely. When did you or someone else say, I've never heard it called that before? 844-999-OLA.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.